People of Earth, we come in peace.
Welcome to this neighborhood, neighbor.
I am the Martian ambassador.
Des Moines and all of Central Iowa, welcome to Mac's World Live. Mac's World is your world. Every day we talk about the issues and topics that matter most to you. And as always, it's your voice we want to hear in Mac's World. So join the conversation. 440077. And now, here's the host of Mac's World Live, J. Michael McCoy.
All right, good afternoon. It's Tuesday, the 9th of February in the Lord's year 2016. I'm J. Michael McCoy, and this is Mac's World Live here on The Truth, 99.3 FM. Thank you very much for listening in. If you are listening in for the first time and you're looking at your radio going, that's Mac and Mac's World. Wait a minute, he used to be on 98.3. Now he's on... Nope, it's the real deal. No Bradshaw here yet. But Bob Montserrat, the Cat in the Hat, is here, along with Frank the Verse Thomas. And we do this program every single afternoon from 3 to 5. Cover local news and comment, of course. If it's me, it's got to be comment. And then in the second hour, we usually have a guest. Today, Tom Coates will be in from Consumer Credit of Des Moines. Or is it Iowa? Consumer Credit of Des Moines, yeah. And we're going to talk a little bit about the politics going on in New Hampshire. And then I want to stay away from it, but I just...
Well, we have through November. So.
Well, I don't think I'm going to talk about it that long. But, I mean, Super Tuesday is the first Tuesday in March, I believe. And by the time we get through Super Tuesday, the herd should have been thinned. And we should be down to the two, unless if this thing with Bernie Sanders and Hillary Clinton keeps going on, and this thing with Donald Trump and whoever, we literally could walk into a Democratic and a Republican convention, and it would be, what do they call that? Brokered. Be a brokered convention. Brokered, yeah, where they'd have to figure out with delegates. But you got to remember, we have this thing in United States politics called a superdelegate. And a superdelegate is anyone who is currently elected to, is it federal office? I think it's governorships and federal office. So you've got 400 people out there. Brokered convention, and boom, change it just like this. And everything we did in Iowa and New Hampshire and Carolina and Super Tuesday will mean nothing. So what a goofy system we have. I have friends from all over the nation that have been talking to me in the last week going, Mac, I thought the Iowa caucuses were like this big thing. And I said, well, they are. Coin flip, they say, coin flip. Decided 6 contests, 6 precincts. Now they've come back and they've changed 2 of those. It wasn't enough to give Hillary the dedicated win. So she won 4 of those 6 caucuses where they flipped a coin.
Well, let me ask. That means that they both had the same amount of votes, or? Well,
they both had 4. She had, shoot. Now you're going to ask me this. I think she had 49.8 and he had 49.6.
So that would be breaking the tie by flipping the coin as to who would get those.
What happens is in a precinct that only has 1 delegate. Okay, so usually if 2 people are tied or that close in a precinct, they'll just say, okay, you get 1 delegate and you get the other delegate because you're both at 49% and some odd. But when there's only 1 delegate from a precinct, and if I'm wrong on this, somebody call and tell me, but I think this is the way it works. If there's only 1, then how else do you decide it? You can't split it in half. It's a delegate. And so they flip a coin. And I know that sounds just archaic. Would that be the right term, Frank? Archaic, like old-fashioned, like
archaic.
Yeah. Tie to tie. You know, you can't go back and re-vote. You can't go through all that.
No.
I suppose you could. I guess. I suppose if you've got that small of a precinct where there's only one delegate, I suppose they could go back and re-vote. But
Yeah, and there's no vice president to break the tie.
yeah, right. There's not yet. So anyway, that's what's going on here in the nation tonight. We have the very heated primary. Not a caucus, but a primary in the state of New Hampshire. Now, let's go to Dixville Notch, New Hampshire. Have you ever heard of Dixville Notch?
No.
They are the home to the first vote in the first in the nation primary. Ohio Governor John Kasich and Vermont Senator Bernie Sanders got an early boost today as they won the vote in Dixville Notch, New Hampshire. It is the home of the first vote in the first in the nation primary. Sanders shut out Hillary Clinton 4-0, while Kasich beat Donald Trump. Were the only 9 votes cast. Just
okay, 9 people. Votes. Okay.
9 people. Nestled into the White Mountains in New Hampshire. I know exactly where that is. I owned a radio station that had a tower on the top of White Mountain. Anyway, in New Hampshire's northernmost reaches, almost, I mean, we're very close to Maine up there. Hart's Location, Dixville Notch and 2 nearby town, Hart's Location and Mills Field. They don't count for many votes, but they do offer one positive. A full day, they're ahead in the only results that have been tallied in the Granite State's crucial primary. In Millsfield, Texas, Senator Ted Cruz won the GOP vote with 9 votes compared to Trump's 3, while several other GOP candidates received 1 vote apiece. Clinton received 2 votes to beat Sanders, who received 1. But at Dixville Notch, it's a tradition that dates to the 1960s. A few voters and dozens of political journalists pile into the Basalm. Cast at midnight, so this was last night at midnight, and counted immediately. The town doesn't have a record of predicting much about New Hampshire's primary. In 2008, then Illinois Senator Barack Obama won the Democratic primary by a 7-2 vote, even though Clinton won the state. In 2000, George W. Bush beat John McCain, even though the Arizona senator won the state. And in 2012, John Huntsman won just as many votes as Mitt Romney, the party's eventual nominee. Fictionalized versions of Dick and its 2 early voting neighbors were featured in an episode of Aaron Sorkin's West Wing, this one dubbed Hartsfield's Landing.
Okay, so they don't have a record of predicting.
No, they don't.
Okay.
Although, I'm just going to tell you, it's Bernie. Feel the burn. He's leading substantially in every poll.
Well, I was watching Fox today, and they were interviewing, I think, father-son, team.
Yeah.
Or maybe they were brothers. I couldn't remember. But they were asking, well, who are you going to vote for? And I said, well, we didn't make a decision, but it was going to be between Trump and Sanders.
Oh, my heavens.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, my heavens. Oh, my heavens. Well, Republican presidential frontrunner Donald Trump called Hillary evil while he was on Morning Joe this morning on MSNBC. The host asked the business executive to describe his 2016 rivals in one word. When it came to the former secretary, evil. Trump, who on Monday night repeated a vulgar word used by a woman in the audience to describe Ted Cruz, was far more charitable when asked to describe Bill Clinton. This is crazy. Intelligent. In the past, Trump has said Bill Clinton's past affairs are fair game for criticisms of his wife. Trump also called Texas Senator Ted Cruz nasty, and Florida Senator. When asked to describe himself, Trump initially replied, you know what he said?
Winner.
That's good. But that's not it. Do you know, Frank?
No, I didn't hear that.
He described himself as brilliant, and then he switched the answer, and he would say, a nice person, a lot nicer than people think.
But not one word.
Yeah, see, that wasn't one word. So,
hey, Mac, by the way,
turn your mic up a little bit. Yep.
Did you hear the other day his story on how his brother him to stay away from alcohol, etc.
Donald Trump?
Yeah.
No, I hadn't heard that.
It was a pretty heartwarming story. He actually showed a little humility in the whole story.
Wow. How come?
Just the fact that he really admired his brother. His brother was somebody who was really a big importance in his life.
I take it was an older brother.
Yeah, he was an older brother, and of course he was handsome and all the attributes that the Trumps have, because everybody's great in the Trump family. But that aside, he was just saying how the brother an alcoholic and how the brother pulled him aside and said, don't do it. Don't ever get hooked on it. And Trump took that lesson to heart. And he said that's one of the reasons he never drank and one of the reasons he's taught his children to stay away from tobacco, drugs, and alcohol.
Yeah, Donald Trump does not drink at all. Maybe champagne in a toast. He doesn't use any tobacco products. And Tana Gertz even told me once that he doesn't even like to take an aspirin when he's got a headache. He'll kind of give himself a head rub.
Wow.
But you know what his favorite restaurant is? This will kill you. You know Donald Trump's favorite restaurant?
No, I didn't hear that.
You want to guess?
Is it a steak place?
Nope.
No, I guess I don't know.
Burger King.
Really?
When they're on the road and they're going in between campaign stops, he always goes through a Burger King drive-thru, and he likes the 2 for $5. Well,
yeah, I know.
So he's frugal.
Cheap, as my kids would say. I used to tell my kids I was frugal, and my daughter, Andre, would say, yeah, he's cheap. So anyway, in New Hampshire at this moment, we do have a little bit more to talk about in the news. Big fire in Ames and another fire maybe being exhausted at ISU on the basketball court, but we'll fill you in on all of that and more. It is a Tuesday afternoon. I'm J. Michael McCoy, and this is Mac's World. Heard every day, 3 to 5 in the afternoon on this brand new radio station covering Central Iowa. We are 99.3 FM. National preachers and teachers. And then 11 in the morning till 11 at night, conservative talk radio, and it's got a biblical worldview. In other words, I can say Jesus, and my program director isn't going to call me and say, do you have to use that word? I'm getting complaints. Coming up live today.
sometimes get out of control, and it's fun to get a new one. Who can stop them from piling on?
Hi, I'm Tom Coates with Consumer Credit of Des Moines. At the end of the day, you can give these grandkids back, but you're stuck paying off bad credit card debt. We can help you put the fun back into using credit cards responsibly. Right, kids?
Yeah! If you need help...
Ninth day of February in the Lord's year 2016. I'm J. Michael McCoy. Man, oh man, oh man. Here's what I kept hearing today about the weather. At least it's not windy. Well, I don't know where everybody else was, but where I was, it was windy.
Yeah.
I came out of the Y today at a little after 1 o'clock, and boy, it hit me hard. So was it not windy earlier today? I was in church almost all morning.
It was windy, but it wasn't as windy as yesterday.
Well, yesterday you had the snow coming down, too. 440077, that's the studio line. And then, of course, we have the Service Legends Truth Text Talk line. I have to close my eyes when I say that because I have to look at the writing that I had in my head on that. Truth Text Talk line at 809-0993. Bob Monster at the Cat in the Hat watching the chat and the text. And Frank is on the microphone today in the producer's room. It's Ryan's day off. And later on, some of the other political things. Now, this is kind of an open hour. There's not a lot of local news going on, to be honest with you. I've got 2 more stories, and then I've got a political story. So if there's something on your mind, something you'd like to ask, something you'd like to share, here's the deal. If you've got somebody who's got a birthday out there, call up, tell Frank the number of the person who's got the birthday. Frank, are you listening? And then you call the person and so if it's your kids or grandkids or spouse or buddy, I don't care who, somebody in a Bible study with you, somebody at church, somebody in the girls group, you call and tell Frank the phone number and we'll call him on the air live. And Frank, can you sing happy birthday? Can you sing happy birthday?
Not very well, no.
But you can sing it. Would you sing it to somebody if they called in and wanted Frank to sing happy birthday? Give me just the first few bars.
Oh, happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you.
See, that's...
And not on the air.
Yeah, that's right, Bob.
Really?
You're right on, Bob.
I always, whenever I call somebody on their birthday, I hope that I get an answering machine or a message because I sing happy birthday just crazy. I mean, just like I can do it like Marilyn Monroe. Remember how she sang it to President Kennedy?
Oh yeah.
Happy birthday to you, Mr. President. I'm not as sexy as she is, probably.
No.
But happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Bob.
Only old folks like us would remember that.
Yeah. Or you can always do the John Wayne one. Happy birthday, Pilgrim. So I leave weird messages. Because you know what? On your birthday, you're always a kid. Mm-hmm. That is the one day that I think that our minds will regress. And we have birthdays are tough for some people. They could be. Sometimes people don't like their birthdays because something bad happens on them. But usually on birthdays, I like to call people and wish them a happy birthday and sing happy birthday to them or say something fun or just be a goofball.
Do you like to go to the restaurants when they offer you a birthday song when everybody comes out, all of the servers? And
I don't care. I mean, we did that at my restaurants.
Oh,
and
you
we'd
like
sing
that?
happy birthday. Do I personally like it? I don't know. We usually don't go out for my. I don't know. Sure, I'm okay with that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Check this out on your lower thirds. Your lower thirds.
Oh, Service Legend Truth Talks text line. Very good. Very good. Yeah, for those of you who don't know, this is passionate radio with pictures. And if you're listening on 99.3, you're going, huh? You're looking at your radio and you're looking in your rearview mirror and you're going, what? Jill King is sitting up there at King's Christian bookstore looking around trying to figure out where. How can I see that? Live, WEBCASTONE live, Webcast 1 live. We broadcast this program live on the internet, and it's. I don't like to use the word television because we don't do all the fancy stuff that Aaron Kiernan and Murphy and those guys do on 13. But we do have color pictures, and we do have green screen technology. And what that means is the background that you see when you turn this on is not really there. Do you know how to turn off the green computer? Something goes wrong. The squirrels don't want to work anymore.
Hang on.
All right. So anyway,
Hang on.
If you're watching, then there it is. Okay. So you see, we have our walls. If you panned around and don't.
I'm not going to pan around. Trust me.
If you panned around, we sit in a, what is this? Probably a 20 by 17 foot room. Yeah. We sit in the middle and it's all green. Even the doorknob. The doorknobs are green. So when Frank turns on the green screen technology, 3, 2, and we have that. Now, we can have any type of green screen technology you want. We could put us sitting in front of the state capitol. We could put us in the living room. All kinds of different setups. So if you ever wanted, and the reason we do that is for the T word, transparency. If you want to see who we are and what we look like, you can do that. We don't show any videos or anything like that usually. This is radio. This is talk radio.
I do kind of like the Starship Enterprise bridge. That's a good one.
We had that. We have that one too. We have the state cap. You could send us. Now Frank can't do this. Don't ask Frank to do this technically. But you could actually take a picture on your phone with your phone camera. Send us that picture via text, and we could put that on. Bill Wagner, wasn't he the one that was an artist, and he sent us a castle that he drew one time? I think it was Bill. Maybe it was somebody else. All right, so 244-0066 Legends Truth Talk text line at 809-0993. All right, if you live in Story County, you probably saw all the stuff going on this morning. Fire broke out at the Ames power plant early this morning. The fire was in a unit holding garbage to be burned at the Ames power plant. One plant worker was injured in the fire and was taken to Mary Greeley, but the injuries are not believed to be serious. Deputy Fire Chief Richard Higgins said that a standpipe installed to the top of the unit was helpful in getting the fire put out. The plant workers were going to remove some of the garbage from the unit to assure the fire was really out. In the past, fires have burned in this unit for several days. So they burn garbage there, and that helps produce power and electricity up in Ames. I mean, why not, right? Burn garbage.
Sure.
So if you wondered what that big smoky hot thing, yep, that was the fire at the Ames power plant.
So they probably didn't notice because normally they're going to see smoke coming out anyway from burning garbage, right?
Yeah, but I saw the video online and it looked like there was something going on there. Yeah. Now, the other fire that was put out this morning in Ames was the one that's smoking over at Hilton Coliseum with the ISU Cyclone basketball team. Jameel McKay, the 7-foot center, finally posted on Instagram an apology. I don't know if you heard. Coach Fawn would not allow... Not Fawn. Fawn? Form. Well, anyway, the coach. I'm not a big basketball guy. Sorry. He suspended this guy. Nobody knows why. They didn't make it public, and I'm okay with that. I don't need to know why. They suspended him, and he didn't go to the Oklahoma game where they won. Then, apparently, whatever he was supposed to do or stop doing or not do or whatever it was, he didn't comply. You're not going to travel on the next one either. So Jameel McKay put out this on Instagram today. We all make mistakes. Don't carry them around with you. Instead, place them under your feet and use them as stepping stone if it's good. If it's wonderful and bad, no. If it's good, it's wonderful. If it's bad, it's an experience. My mistakes will never define who I am as a person. Can't promise to be perfect, but always to give my all. Apologies to all fans, supporters, coaching staff, family, and most importantly, my teammates. Love you all. XXOOXX. Now, the reason I read that the way I did, one of my pet peeves. No, there's no punctuation.
Oh.
And that's the way he put it on Instagram. It's just one long sentence. He finally puts a period after can't promise to be perfect, but always to give my all, period, space, capital A, apologies to all fans, supporters, coaching staff, family, and most importantly, my teammates. He'll be back on the court when I think they're traveling to Texas Tech, or maybe I might have them confused.
Well, according to chat, it's Coach Steve Prohm.
Prohm.
P-R-O-H-M.
That's right. Thank you. Who said that?
Ethan.
All right. Thank you, Ethan. Yeah, Prohm. He's the new guy that just took over for the mayor. But I don't pretend to know anything about sports. On the radio, I really thought I was something special. I thought I knew it all. I was arrogant. Nobody could tell me what to do. I was the center of all attention. And I would easily get offended, and that would make me change the conversation because I had the insecurity the size of Manhattan and the confidence the size of a pea. In 2011, Jesus mugged me. And know other people that this has happened to. I can't explain it to you. I can tell you what happened, but I have no idea why. First of all, I mean, my Bible tells me because he chose me. You know, I grew up thinking that you chose Jesus. And I know there's still some people out there that still believe you're the one that says, Jesus, come into my life and da-da-da-da-da. Well, what I have learned biblically and theologically is when we say the sinner's prayer, the Holy Spirit's already entered into you, and Jesus, fine, I've mugged you. You are now going to have a completely different life. So on this radio program, and I've been doing this for 4 years now, ever since Jesus mugged me, if I don't know anything, I just tell you I don't know anything. Not a sports fan, don't know much about sports. I know a little about Nebraska football. I know that I like Peyton Manning. I was glad he won. And that's about all. And Hawkeye fans are arrogant. Oh, shoot, I probably shouldn't have said that. Anyway, so if I don't know anything about something, I'm not. I am surrounded by two guys here who know a lot. First of all, Bob Montserrat, the Cat in the Hat, who watches the chat and the Service Legends Truth text line. And he's got the Google in front of him all the time so he can look stuff up. Plus, he's got the chat. And then I've got the guy that has more of the Bible memorized than any other person I've known, Frank the Verse Thomas. That's why we call him the Verse. Because all right, here, let's now. We didn't practice this, right, Frank? Whatever I'm about to say. The hype.
Introduction and the
turn
hype.
up your mic just a little bit. All right. So now I'm probably fail here, but give me a Bible verse that God talks about making a woman.
We'll have to come back to that. Your commercial's coming up.
No, you can't do that because you'll look. It's Genesis 2.
No.
And God said everything was good and man was even better, but he needed. Gee, I impressed with me.
Yeah.
No, I'm not. All right, when we come back, would you hire Hillary Clinton? I'm serious. I put it on Facebook. I'm going to read you what everybody said. It's coming up next, live here in Mac's World.
From the RE/MAX Real Estate Concept Studios, this is Webcast 1 Live.
I'm Brian Leach, owner of Service Legends, and my position is Chief
I am Bernie Hobbs,
and I'm the Service Manager,
Marketing Director and Client Relations Manager.
Everything that we do is about ensuring that we exceed your expectations.
Our clients are important to us. 100% satisfaction.
We're not just focused on heating and cooling. That's the easiest part of our job, actually, is fixing furnaces and air conditioners.
Everyone that we come in touch with, we want to improve lives.
Bottom line is, we've got our installation guarantees, 25% energy savings guarantee, comfort guarantee, temperature selection guarantee, property protection guarantee.
100% satisfaction guaranteed, fixed raters.
That guarantee to hold ourselves accountable to making sure that you get what you're after.
Just fixing the problem today. If they have another problem 5 days down the road, it's still a fixed rate or it's free.
We use what's called straightforward pricing. Our technicians are going to give you an exact to-the-penny price on what it's going to take before they move forward with any repair. That way you know what to expect.
It's the same price every day.
No surprises.
If you get off work at 5 o'clock in the afternoon, you come home, you realize that, oh, my furnace is broken. Now you need to call somebody out that night. You shouldn't have to pay more for that.
We're guaranteeing service 24/7.
We run nights, weekends. We're staffed to work that.
Phone rings at 3 in the morning. You'll get one of our representatives answering the phone every time.
We're not sending you out to Timbuktu in some call center. It's our Service Legend team members, our mission control team.
I'll take a call anytime.
And then they answer the phones the same way during the day as they do at night.
It's a great day at your service company. How can we make you smile?
That's the only way to provide true 24-hour service.
When you're able to let somebody actually live in their home safely when they weren't able to do that before, where they don't have to stay up at night and worry about, is the heat going to come back on? Is the baby in the room next door going to be sick because they got too cold? When you're able to help somebody overcome challenges like that, that's impacting a life. That makes a difference. I get goosebumps thinking about it.
I love the team. I love the people that I work with.
We have fun, but we work hard.
I call them my ambassadors of legendary service. If you could just envision what that is, that's who we're sending to your home.
They literally will call in, pick up the phone and call and say, hey, I want to talk to your manager. And I get on the phone, they're like, that technician that was at my house was the greatest technician ever. That's cool to me.
We want
that we have going into the house has gone through an extensive background check.
Drug testing, we have a very thorough interview process that 1 out of 140 people make it through.
If we promise you something, that's what you're going to get, no matter what.
We're here when you need us to protect the safety and comfort of your family.
If you're not happy, we're going to make it right.
If we're willing to put 100% money back guarantee on what we do, what type of work do you think we do?
Give us a call. We're there for you 24/7, 365 days a year.
Enough said.
22 minutes before the top of the hour. Top of the hour, Salem Radio Network News. And then next hour, Tom Coates from Consumer Credit of Des Moines, and we're going to talk about what's going on in New Hampshire and Super Tuesday. And Tom always comes in with more political information than I can hold in my head. So that'll be this next hour. You're going to stick around, aren't you, Robert?
Sure.
And then, of course, Frank, I don't know the verses. Thomas.
No, now listen. I was right on a commercial, and I muffed the last one, so I didn't want to ruin the commercial. But
No, I'm going to give you a different one now because you had 3 minutes
well,
to look it up.
No, there was 2 different accounts of creation in Genesis. I think one is in chapter 2, one's in chapter 3. One where God says he created male and female, and then the one where he says it's not good that man should be alone, and he created woman from the from the rib of Adam. So atheists will say that that's a terrible thing because there's 2 accounts of the creation of man in Genesis.
And why is there 2?
I think it's just re-emphasizing the first account. I don't believe that it's anything nefarious that there was 2 creations, because the atheists will hold that there was another woman created in the Bible for Adam, and somehow Eve was another creation. I think her name was Lilith or something of that nature, and so that's why they parse out the 2 creation accounts.
Well, Frank, atheists don't know anything about the Bible. And I know if Chris Johns knows the Bible better than I do. But see, Chris John isn't an atheist. Chris John is a follower of Jesus Christ who has gone down the wrong path for the time being.
He just doesn't know it yet. He's going to get mugged soon like you and Paul, right. And he just doesn't know it's coming yet.
That's right. All right. All right. So here's what I posted on Facebook today. Let's say you're in a position to hire key people to represent you. You being the emphasis, not the company that you happen to work for. They're going to represent you. So you own the company, Or they're going to be a spokesperson for you. They're going to be a salesperson for you. And when you own a company and you have a sales department, they're out there representing you, especially when you're selling an intangible like insurance or radio or television or something like that. So you're in a position to hire a key person to represent you. Kind of like, Bob, when you vote. You get one vote, go into the booth, you pull the lever or mark the box or put the X or put a hanging chad on it or whatever you do. And that's all you got. That's it. That's the best. That's how simple it is to be an obedient patriot, an American citizen. You just go in and vote. But this person represents you. I can't ever remember voting for someone and then coming back and for him. I'm trying to think. Nixon was fine with me. I know everybody ran him down the wrong road, and he resigned, and he obviously wasn't perfect. But I'll tell you what, compared to what some other presidents have done. But Papa Bush, Reagan, I never voted for Clinton. Baby Bush, I voted for him twice, and he never embarrassed me. I never saw him the way the liberals saw him. I guess that's what makes them a low information voter. I don't know. But you're going to go into this booth and you're going to pull a lever, poke a chad, whatever you're going to do. And this person's going to represent you for the period in which they're running. So this is serious. You're seriously considering this one person. Then you do a background check. You find out that she was fired from the Senate committee to investigate Watergate because of her quote-unquote lack of integrity, and that's a quote from the chairman of that committee back in 1975 or whatever it was. Then you discovered this person has said, quote, different things to different people, unquote. So one moment, this person's okay with abortion, and then they're not, and then they're okay with gay marriage, and then they're not, and then they like the health care, and then they didn't, and it's a mess. And there's a video on my Facebook, about a 10-minute video, and I know that's too long for most people with ADD, attention deficit. ADHD.
Hey, Mac, did you know, in interest of disclosure on that Watergate hearing, that was one, I think Ted Kennedy wanted to impeach Nixon, and it was Hillary who wanted to leave him in office and leave him hanging out there because she felt that he would do more damage to the party lingering out there than being impeached.
Well, she got impeached. So then you discover this person has different things for different people, and it firmly contradicts herself. Not once, not twice, hundreds of times. And I would encourage you to go to Facebook and watch this. Voter, a progressive, a Democrat, a liberal, I don't care what you want to call yourself. You watch this, because this is not a tape that can be messed with. I'd love to have, here's where the low information voters humor me, Bob, because they'll come back and that was a doctored tape. No, it wasn't. Here she said she thinks marriage is between a man and a woman, and then later on she says she's for gay marriage. Over here, she thinks NAFTA was a great deal because it was her husband that signed NAFTA in. And then she comes back later on and says, no, it was. So hundreds of times she's done this. Then in horror, you discovered she sat in the safety of her private, secure home and watched while her employees were slaughtered, murdered before her very eyes. Obviously, that's Benghazi. You know that hiring this person is a direct reflection upon your character. Would you hire them, and why? And then I had to add my little excuse is other candidates do the same thing. I already know your character. So the first comment was from Chip, and he said something Hillary Clinton doesn't want you to see in her own words. Gary said she's a pathological liar, no class or integrity. I can't believe people are this dumb. Is no one listening? John says, still reminds me of that great scene from Fried Green Tomatoes when Angie is walking overalls with a willow branch fishing pole and a stringer of bullheads. Frank smarts off to her about being some quote-unquote pretty thing Of course, that was played by Julia Roberts. She answers him, quote, "What are you, some kind of politician, or does lying come natural in your family?" Unquote. Classic scene, so applicable to our time. Denny, who's a low information voter, says perhaps it's just stint. I like the way people are smiling, even if you don't. I know Denny. She's a good lady. She goes to church with me. John came back and said, I don't have any problem with a person changing their mind or their position on something. Good, John. I agree with you. I hope not to be so entrenched that I wouldn't change my mind about my position as I get new information. The problem I think I see here is Hillary and other candidates changing their mind but later denying that they did so. Yeah, that's my problem with Hillary, too. In our instant information society, John said Denny spends way too much of her time playing video games. Mark says you are kind, John. Wink wink circle smiley. Scott says if your target market is Democrats, then I'd hire her. They'll believe anything she says. Eleanor says, no, I have been a Dem all my life, but I don't believe anything she says. That dog of a husband, don't believe you can chew crap and smile through it. She was planning her run way back then. Definitely the wrong direction to go. And finally, Mark says back, Hillary Clinton is a reprehensible human being. There, I said it. And for the sake of our wonderful country, so should you.
Mac, after
watching and rewatching the footage of her disgraceful and incredibly dishonest debate performance, I don't know how.
One of her leftist supporters, Nia Malika Henderson, on CNN, says that Hillary has a complicated relationship with the truth, and that's one of her supporters.
A complicated relationship with the truth. Yeah, she doesn't know what the truth is if it bit her. All right, last break. We're coming back. 244-0077. Are you a Democrat? Are you going to vote for Hillary, or are you going to feel the burn? But let me know what you're thinking here live on The Truth.
Credit cards are like grandkids. They love you. And it's fun to get a new one. Who can stop them from piling on?
Hi, I'm Tom Coates with Consumer Credit of Des Moines. At the end of the day, you can return the grandkids, but you're stuck paying off bad credit card debt. We'll help you put the fun back into using credit cards responsibly. Right, kids?
Yeah! If you need help getting credit cards off your back, call Consumer Credit of Des Moines.
Hi, my name is David Burrier, your Hope Coach. I host a live weekly talk show called 5:30, right here on webcast1live.com, and on my weekly radio program Saturday mornings at 10 on Truth Network 99.3 FM. I interview common everyday people who have survived incredible life challenges and who testify to God's faithfulness in the midst of their storms. So join me as we bring a message of hope and encouragement. Everybody needs hope. I know, because I've been there.
Whether you're 10, 25, 50, 80 years old and needs to live within their means. I'm Tom Coates with Consumer Credit of America. For almost a quarter of a century, we've helped people of all ages learn to manage their personal finances to benefit them far into the future. When problems arise, we've got the experience you need to make those debt problems go away. Got financial problems? Call Consumer Credit of America.
From the RE/MAX Real Estate Concept Studios, this is Webcast One Live.
The top of the hour, Salem Radio Network News. And then after that, Tom Coates, you just heard him there. He'll be in from Des Moines Consumer Credit and our Consumer Credit of Des Moines, and we'll be talking to him about the news coming out of New Hampshire. Of course, everybody's doing polls. You know, they stand outside and they say, who'd you vote for? And then they mark them down and they say, well, these are the running polls as of right now. And, you know, the election's here.
Exit polls.
Exit polls.
Which they got terribly for election.
That's right, because they called it for Gore and Bush ended up winning.
They called Florida for Gore prematurely when the Panhandle still hadn't voted.
Was that the hanging chads?
Yes, that was the hanging chads in 2000.
Hope we don't have anything like that this year. Although I don't know. That's that Clinton Democratic machine. You know what's interesting, Bob? Every time I ask a liberal, a progressive, a Democrat, or somebody to call me here at the station so I can understand what they're thinking, because I won't beat up on them. I won't say bad things. I really want to hear. I want to hear somebody. You got it wrong about Hillary. You're looking through rose-colored glasses, Mac. You're the one that has low information. Let me give you all the information.
Maybe they need the number.
244-0077. Smart Alec. 244-0077. They just never call. Now, didn't I get a call? I got a call from a Democrat last week, didn't I? I think I got a call from one. He's real nice. Real nice, but I don't remember what his name was. Joe, maybe? I don't remember. Anyway, he was real. I just remember he was nice. And nice, got to be Iowa. 244-0077. The great thing about this audience on this radio station, which I'm after 5 years, you'd think I'd be used to. I actually continually think that there are people with two opinions out there, and both sides are represented. But when you follow Jesus and you love him, man, it's hard to be a Democrat. I don't know how I don't know how you can be a Democrat and be a Christian. That's what the guy said on the phone.
Now that you mention it.
Yeah. I don't know how you can do that. The party you stand for tried to take God out of the platform 3 times at the last convention. And finally somebody figured out what they were doing, because that would have been, well, it would have represented how they really feel.
Yeah, but they can't all agree with that.
Well, they had 2 votes. And they were going to pull him out. And then they had a 3rd vote. And they don't have to have more than 1 vote to do that. How can and a Christian, when you have approval and support of abortion and taxpayer dollars going to abortion? Now, I know that I'm picking on sins, and I've learned through Jesus all the sins are the same. There's no one worse than the other. The only unforgivable sin is when I commit blasphemy over and 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 over. And I admit I do it. I know I do it. And I say, I don't want a relationship with God. And then so God comes and knocks on my door. You want to come? I love you. I've been here the whole time. I love you. Can you please? I believe in you. Can you please come and believe in me so we can spend eternity together? And he says, no, I don't believe in you. I'm sorry. Besides that guy over there, that's Hitler, and I don't know why he's in heaven. Well, he asked for forgiveness. Well, that guy over there, that's my stepdad, and he used to beat me. Well, but he asked for forgiveness. That guy over there, he murdered. He said, that's the kind of people you let in heaven? And God says, all you have to do is just repent. And just honestly come before me and say, God, I'm sorry. Forgive me. I repent. I won't do it again. And God says, you're mine. And then that guy says, I don't want to have any part of a God that can forgive things like that. And for me, that's the only type of God I need. If there were sins worse than others, I committed all. I'd have no grace. If there was actually a scale, well, the little white lie, that's not real bad murder. Oh, murder, you can't even think about committing murder. You can't say to somebody, I'm going to kill you. You make me so mad, I'm going to kill you. Because that's murder in God's eyes. And divorce, I did that. Abuse of alcohol, I did that. Lie, cheat, and steal, I did that. If you go into the adultery and the murder, that all you have to do is think about it, I got 0 for 10. I am dead meat in the water, Frank.
Wouldn't you think there's a vast difference between committing a sin that doesn't affect anyone, such as, maybe taking a drink, even though it may affect something, but abortion is stopping another individual from ever making a decision, right or wrong, for Jesus Christ, held to account for taking that life out of that was created in the image of God.
Not if they repent. There's no place in the Bible where it says there's one sin worse than the other. Murder, adultery, divorce, sin, lying, cheating, stealing. I mean, Bill Clinton's dead meat if that's the case. So anyway, Jesus says that grace will be abound to all of those who simply say it in his name. So if you've had an abortion and you've been waiting for somebody to tell you you're okay with God, shh, come here. Get closer to the radio. Between you, me, Jesus, and God and the Holy Spirit, you're good. You repent of that, God doesn't even know you did it. Oh, I know there's a soul that was extinguished, but somehow God swept up that little soul, and when you get to heaven, you'll meet that child. If you're a male and you helped with an abortion, you paid for it, or it was your girlfriend who got pregnant and you said, no way, I'm not going to have anything to do with that, and you manipulated and forced and bullied her into getting a divorce, an abortion, are you repentant? Can you look up at Papa right now, your Father God, and say, God, I'm sorry, man, I'm sorry. I had no idea what I was doing. Please forgive me. Is there enough grace, Jesus, to cover that sin? God, is it possible that I'm forgiven? And God says you're forgiven. Just got to repent. So, everybody gets an opportunity to spend eternity with our Creator. It's just up to you. It's up to you. Tom Coates will be in less than 7 minutes. And we will continue the conversation on the New Hampshire primary, not caucuses. I think Nevada has caucuses.
I read that there were like 14 states.
14, okay. So we'll continue that conversation. Bob Montserrat, the Cat in the Hat, is watching the Service Legends Truth Text Talk line at 809-0993. And Frank is manning the We Want to Hear Your Voice line at 515-244-0077. After all, it is your voice we want to hear. Even if you're a Democrat. Seriously, I want to hear from you. Thanks for listening. Hi, Thomas.